Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to get distance into your landscapes. You see some people's paintings and they're flat. They have no depth to them. And there's one thing I can pride myself on. It's getting distance into my landscapes. And I've got a couple of tricks I can show you that will help you with that problem. I'm using acrylic paint on a 9x12 canvas panel. I like to paint on those because they're easy to store. And I'm starting off with the sky. In a landscape, I always start off with the thing that is most far away, the furthest away from us. And that's always the sky, isn't it? So I start off with the sky. I dab a little bit of cloud in there, but the cloud isn't really part of the painting and it may not last. I'm starting off with French ultramarine blue mixed with titanium white to give me a nice sky blue. And I paint it about a third of the way down. And not all of the sky will survive till the end of the painting either. I might paint some hills over that. But I start off with a third of the painting covered with sky color. Now I'm going to paint distant hills, and they don't have much color in them. The further it's something away is from us, the less saturation there is in the color. And so I'm adding alizarin crimson to my blue sky mixture, and I'm putting in a row of distant hills. Just a line, and I feel it's not strong enough at this point, so I probably will add a little more color to that. My teacher used to say it's as if a veil comes down every 100 yards or so, and the colors you see are less saturated until you get to those distant hills, and they are really just a mistiness. I'm putting in a glimpse of a lake, or it might be a river, I'm not sure. And I want the color different from the sky. I know it reflects the blue sky, but I've chosen to add a little green just to make it a different color that will stand out a little bit. This closer hill might be a bit too green. I might adjust that as we go along. But it's closer to us, so it can have more color in it. And I'm putting the furthest away bank of the river, the opposite side. I think I'm going to call it a lake. And I'm putting in that opposite bank, and I'm toning down the green of this closer hill. But you can see with these 1, 2, 3 planes, I've already got distance. I've got a bank and a hill that are in the far distance. I've got a green hill that's in the middle distance. And I'll create a deeper color for the foreground. Now here's another trick. I'm putting in a road. and it will go over those hills that I've put in the far distance. It's a winding road, and it will lead your eye through the painting into the distance. I'm putting in a tree with an overhanging branch, which will give a frame to the picture and also add to that feeling of distance, because it's right in the foreground. It's the closest to us, and it frames the distant view. I use several colors for the trunk of the tree: raw umber, raw sienna, alizarin crimson. I add primary yellow to alizarin crimson to get a sort of bright orangey color for a highlight. And I use sometimes, I don't think I did in this case, but sometimes add French ultramarine blue for a shadow. I think in this case I added raw umber for the shadow. But French ultramarine blue is also a great shadow. It's transparent and it sort of adds a depth. You can see the original color through it, and it adds a level of depth to the whatever is added over. I hope I'm explaining myself. I'm using a bristle fan brush, which is great for grasses, but if you turn it on its edge, you can get quite a nice tall shrub out of it. And I use it, I use it for all the scrubby bits of the painting, the weeds and short grasses, long grasses, shrubs, anything that you need a little texture with. A bristle fan brush is good for that, and another good brush for texture, and I sometimes use it for tree foliage. I didn't in this case, but that is a round bristle brushes. Round bristle brushes are great for texture. In the thumbnail I did for this painting, I had a rock with some scrub round it, and I left that out, and I think that was the wrong thing to do. I think I could have put that on the side of the road that doesn't have very much on it, here maybe, and I think that would have looked good. I could still go back in and put it in, but I'm not going to, because I put my paints away. I'd have to put out fresh paint to do that, and I don't want to be bothered. Next time I'll try and remember that rock. I stipple the paint on with the end of my brush, and as I said before, a round bristle is a great brush for this purpose. And I wish I had thought of it when I was doing this painting, but I didn't. When I'm painting trees, I don't paint every single leaf, and I do try and get plenty of color on my tree trunks. I use raw umber, raw sienna, and alizarin crimson, and also sometimes French ultramarine blue. And I use the blue and the alizarin for shadow, and the raw umber. And I try and get that round effect of the tree trunk. But it's a good place to get as much colour in as you can. It just makes the painting more interesting, in my opinion. I'm sure there are other people who would disagree with that, but really it's all personal choice, and I like to put a lot of colour in my tree trunks. I've decided that this distant hillside needs a little bit more colour in it. It's just not showing up. It was blended into the sky, and I didn't like that look. So I've added a touch of green, and I think it looks better now. You can see it for what it is, a hill in the distance. I'm probably a bit late in saying this, but this is a scene from my imagination. But you could paint from a photograph if you have a good one. I just don't. I paint the scenes that are in my head, and it's probably because I watch a lot of television and I like travel shows a lot. I'm thinking this might be Scotland or maybe a scene in the Lake District in England. I don't know. It could be anywhere. I'm going to put some colour on this greenery in the foreground. Now, I'm not going to say what type of flowers they are. They aren't anything really. They're just daubs of colour on top of green. And you have to use your imagination when you look at my paintings and see what you want to see. I'm going to put in some buildings, as you see with this one that I've done. They are not very detailed. They're just little dabs of colour that I put on with a flat brush. It's the brush that's doing the work here. I like to use 3/4 inch flats for large items like petals on roses. And for this little building, I'm using a 1/2 inch flat. And I just load the brush with the paint and pull the stroke from the top down, and that makes the side of the building, and that's about as detailed as I get in this painting. I like to put a lot of scrubbiness in the foreground of my paintings. I think it makes it look a little more realistic, although I don't go for realism. And it's fun to do. And I usually use a fan brush for this. I have a bristle fan brush, and it works great for scrub, used flat and on edge. I use it flat for grasses and on edge for any little shrubby stuff that I want to put in. I try to remember to add shadows for things like little shrubs and tree trunks and houses. And I think it makes all the difference if you can remember to put those in. It it all adds to the texture of the painting. It all adds to the interest of the painting. Just put a couple of daubs of white in the distance to indicate two houses. I'll put a little roof on them, but it's not much. It's so not detailed. It's just an indication that there might be something there if you look very closely. Well, I'm coming to the end of this painting. I think I put in a couple of trees, just a daub of paint, nothing detailed. And I tidy up that road a little bit. And I think it's done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got something from it, and I hope you'll try it for yourselves. You may do a lot better than I managed to do, but I do think I got good distance into my painting. You see at least 10 miles in there, I'm thinking, maybe more, maybe 15. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you very much for watching, and thank you to everybody who is subscribed. That helps the algorithm find my channel, and I really appreciate your doing that. It doesn't cost anything, and you don't get bugged by me or anybody else if you do that, and it helps enormously to a channel. So thank you very much again, and I'll see you next time. Probably with a flower, I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm working on my books at the moment, and I'm hoping to get one out soon. I've got most of it done. I have a couple more paintings to do for it. I'm going to be linking videos to the books so that you get the whole deal. And they should be, I'm thinking July now. I thought by the end of June, but I'm thinking July. By the end of summer for sure. So I'll let you go, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.